Jesus responds, however, to the Pharisees when they implore him to tell his disciples to be quiet. Jesus responds from the man whose face is set for Jerusalem. "Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead," as Daniel Farragut said during the Civil War. "I tell you, if these disciples of mine were silenced, even the stones would cry out." In the Spanish language, there are two words for the word to know: saber and conocer. When someone tells you that there's a stop sign ahead and you can see it clearly, you would say, "Sí, yo sé." Yeah, I know. Or there are 12 eggs in a dozen. "Sí, yo sé." I know. Using the first person singular of the verb saber. "Do you know the way to San Jose?" You can say "sí," or "sí, yo sé," or the question would come, "¿Tú sabes cómo llegar a la ciudad de San Jose?" Saber, do you know how to get there? And there's a second Spanish verb that means to know, but it is only used in the context of knowing a person or a place. Not about something or someone. It is not used for facts about dozens of eggs or stop signs. It is used as a term of recognition. Do you know the city of San Jose? ¿Tú conoces a la ciudad de San Jose? Do you conocer? Do you know the city of San Jose? Do you know the Reverend Amanda? ¿Tú conoces a la Reverend Amanda? That is, have you met her? Or do you know her? Sí la conozco. Or no, no la conozco. I don't know her. Now you're going to say, why the heck is she talking about the Spanish word? Well, the Greek word for recognize is gnosko. And when I read it, I went, oh, the word recognize in Spanish comes from this Greek word gnosko, to recognize. Our word recognize comes from gnosko, recognize. It is a word about knowledge. It's the word that the Gnostics used to describe their knowledgeableness of God. We are those who have gnosis, knowledge of God. As Jesus came near to Jerusalem, he wept, saying, "If you even had only recognized, gonose, if you had only known by the sight of your mind on this day the things that make for peace, if you had gonose, gonosko." And he said it again. "They will not leave within you one stone upon another because you did not recognize the time of your visitation from God." You did not know the time of your visitation from God. You did not recognize, conocer. Jesus proceeds from his tearful greeting, where he laments over the city of Jerusalem. This isn't just crying, this is lamenting. This is a deep mourning. His tearful greeting over the city of Jerusalem, and he proceeds to the temple. And his behavior is radical. It is fraught with frustration and emotion. And as he enters the beloved temple, as he enters his temple to worship and to teach, he finds there something that triggers an incredible response. It triggers a response that wreaks havoc in the temple. Pilgrims come from all over the world to the temple. They come from foreign places, and they come to the temple to worship, and they must change their foreign currency into the currency that is accepted by the temple authorities. And these pilgrims become, for the greedy, easy marks. It's kind of of like jacking up the prices at the gas pumps around the holidays. Or jacking up the plane fares around the holidays. Same mentality. We've gotten to, so we expect it. Oh, you got to buy your ticket 6 months in advance and hope you don't get the yo-yo effect. It's no surprise that greed rears its ugly head around the holidays. People need to get somewhere because they have made plans, so it is easy to extort higher prices from them. And this is what Jesus encounters when he goes into the temple. Money must change hands before prayers and sacrifices can be offered. You have turned God's house into a den of thieves. God's house is to be a house of prayer. And so the wreaking of havoc is a cleansing act, a purging act on Jesus' part. But it seals his fate. It's almost as if with this final push, this last-ditch effort, he hopes at last to open the eyes of those who cannot recognize, who cannot and seemingly will not recognize or see how they have disconnected themselves from the purposes of God who created them. He has been working from the beginning to open the eyes, the hearts, and the minds of all people, and is confronted, as perhaps our church is today, by those who are in it for themselves, selfish and self-indulgent, who have turned the temple, our central and most holy place, into a business like any other. On this day, Jesus came with his face set into the city of Jerusalem. And on this day, he sealed his fate. But on this day, what this Jesus does, this Luke's Jesus does, he calls us to have ears to hear. He calls us to have a mind and a heart and sight to recognize the things that make for peace, to recognize the time of God's visitation. It is already and it is now. What he calls us to do today is to make ourselves ever ready. In 1979, on April the 12th, was a Maundy Thursday. My life was changed. In the moment, in the twinkling of an eye. It was Holy Week, 3 days before Easter. And I received my call to ministry that day. The Word of God came to me, and I recognized in a moment in time something that I had never known before or recognized before, a voice I had never heard before. Holy Week is a week that can change your life. Jesus calls us to make it part of our life today, to be ever ready to be changed. Amen.